and technology proved to be able to make a pseudo-legendary that equals or even surpasses the dragons of both past and present generations? Or is it foolish to believe Metagross ever stood a chance against the likes of Salamence in the Hoenn region? Let's find out! Metagross in the Hoenn game can only be obtained through a post-game event, which is why we use the Elite PK Hex technology to spawn one of our own at the very start of the run. Beldum's stats are rather workable, but it faces the predicament of only having access to the move Takedown, which is apparently not a signature move of YouTube, contrary to what we thought. Takedown might have a base power of 90, but is a recoil move that does not have stab and is bad against the first gym leader Roxanne. Beldum tried to trade 1-for-1 with Roxanne's Geodude, but can never catch up to the gym leader using a potion. And as for Nosepass, Takedown is far too weak to do anything to the defensive behemoth that the magnet is for this point in the game. Moving on, Beldum tries its takedown antics on a gym that should be more accommodating, Brawly's fighting type gym, and despite typings being different, the same old story goes, Beldum gets 1v1 by the lead Machop, even with how lucky we managed to get with crits. So far, so bad? However, the artificially intelligent pseudo-legendary is yet to have given up. Shortly after Brawly, he reaches level 20 and evolves into the very decent-looking Metang, which has a very high base stat total of 420, if you know what I mean, and access to Metal Claw Confusion and TM moves like Rock Tomb right on evolution. With its newfound power, Metang easily beats Watson's Voltorb, though it struggles a lot with fellow Steel types Magnemite and Magneton by virtue of their great typing and stats. And on the topic of typings that cause unfortunate stuff, next gym is Flannery and her fire types, which has stuff like this happen. After this fire-fueled Flannery fail, we go back to Dad's gym to maybe seek some solace, and as mighty as Slacking looks, Metang does extremely decently against it, 1v1ing and having some left for the Vigoroth or for brawling with the second Slacking later on. Pretty decent considering Metang gets none of the usual Norman cheese techs like Protect and Dig. Next up is Winona, where Metang once again does pretty good. It beats Swellow with Rock Tomb and dealt with Pelipper as well. However, it fails to do meaningful damage to Skarmory and is massive setup fodder for the Ace Altaria, but it still manages to have a niche on the fights. Against the very dreadful battle against Tate and Lisa, Metang finds itself in the weird position where it has a great typing and stab Metal Claw, but it gets hit hard by Solrock's Flamethrower. However, the fire move is not a one-shot outside of sunny weather, and the Metang team can use its Psychic Steel Mon to destroy this fight, especially with how well Metang fares against Lunatone. And more importantly, the fight against Tate and Lisa is the last gym where Metang is used. For level 45, it finally evolves into Metagross. Now, Metagross is a disgusting Pokemon. There's no other way to say it, really. Why? Watch it take a stab Earthquake from Wallace's Whiscash and 1v1 in return like nothing. You never get a full Wallace sweep with the thing, but you can always beat several Pokemon almost no matter when you decide to send it in. This AI has learned and perfected itself and is ready to take on any challenge from here on, no matter how hard. Speaking of hard challenges, Metagross is to face the hardest hurdle yet, the Elite Four. First off is Sydney, with his squad of Dark types, and well, what can we say? Mighty Anna Intimidation tactics to slow Metagross down, Clear Body protects it. Dark type moves? Gen 3 Metagross is yet to be weak to Dark types, a weakness it only acquires in Gen 6. Every single thing Sydney attempts gets thwarted by Metagross's pure stat power and Meteor Mash, another base 90 power move, but this time one that only has stab and no recoil, but may boost Metagross's attack stat when it hits. Next up is Phoebe, which, despite not getting fully swept by Metagross thanks to her better bulk and access to Earthquake on her second Dusclops and Curse on the first, will still be severely damaged by Metagross that uses its teammates' support decently well, and can get several kills in this fight, because of course it does. Oh, and guess what? The next Elite Four member is an Ice-type trainer against a Pokemon who is as ready to Meteor Mash as the average PokeRebels viewer when looking at the like button. Like and subscribe! Cilios and Glalie stand absolutely no chance, and Walrein could be 1v1, but Metagross will not manage to fight it if it decides to use its resources to destroy the other Pokemon instead, which we think it should. Despite that, depending on the level of your Metagross, you run the risk of getting sheer colded, which is a pretty fun and balanced mood to be on the receiving end of, right? Against Drake, Metagross has decent targets in Shelgon and Altaria, but has to be careful of everything else, as Flygons and Salamence have moves for it. Salamence in particular is incredibly nasty, and Metagross cannot face it given its superior speed. However, one of the Flygons will have Dig as a ground move, which allows Metagross to pivot its way in or out of the fight if it wants to. And last but not least is Steven Stone, the Hoenn champion. Steven has two Rock-type Pokemon in his team, Armaldo and Credilli, which both get destroyed by Metagross. However, the champion's other Pokemon are actually well equipped to deal with overly strong Steel types. Skarmory walls Metagross decently well, Claydol has Stab Earthquake and is very bulky, and Steven's own Metagross is high level and has Earthquake to beat Steel types. Our Metagross did not manage to 1v1 this, though it should be possible to win the Metagross face-off with excessive EV training. In general, Metagross is great in the Elite Four and helps its team a lot in every fight, though it does so more in some fights than in others. Overall, Metagross starts incredibly bad, but quickly recovers when it evolves into Metang. It may have a rough Gym 3 and 4, but that's mainly due to its typing being poorly matched up against them, as is shown in how decent it becomes. After Gym 7, it evolves into Metagross, and justifies its reputation as both a pseudo-legendary and one of the greatest Pokemon available in Gen 3. Turns out Steven chose a great ace. In Emerald, Metagross would have every single fight be slightly harder. Its start would be equally bad as Beldum, it would then have more of a niche against Watson given the Electrite in his team. Tannenliese will prove to be much worse for our Steel friend by virtue of Earthquake Claydol being a thing, and the late game should be overall similar thanks to how great Metagross is in general. So, what do you think of Gen 3 Metagross? Was it for the best that it was reserved to post-game, given how unbearable it would have been? Or was it as boring as a poem written by ChatGPT? Feel free to tell us in the comments below, and check out this video where we talk about Salamence and Hoenn.